Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a banger this weekend. We are in for a treat. We got John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler, Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Let's start off with Bo Nickel and Paul Craig. Okay, there's a couple ways this fight is gonna go. Either Bo goes out there and he says "fuck your jiu-jitsu," and he takes Paul Craig down and he fucks him up on the ground. Okay, ground and pound, maybe to a submission, right? Takes his back, chokes him out. After seeing what Islam Makhachev did to Robert Whittaker, I think Bo's going to want to make a statement, go out there, take Paul Craig down, choke him out as fast as he can. Or he goes out there, says, fuck the ground game. I've seen you get knocked out a bunch of times. I'm going to fucking knock you out. And goes in there and boom, boom, hits him really hard, drops him, knocks him out. Okay? I think Paul Craig is fucked no matter what. I don't think he's going to end up getting a submission off his back. I don't think he's going to be able to stand with Bo Nickel. Now, unless miraculously he survives that onslaught from Bo Nickel in the first round, and we see Bo Nickel in round 2, and maybe he gets a little tired. Maybe we see some Islam Makhachev, where he gets a little tired as the fight goes. But I don't even think Paul Craig is going to be the type of guy to bring out, the dog in Bo Nickel, because Paul Craig, his dog is long gone, right? He's going to get knocked out if it turns into a dog fight. Bo Nickel's winning that no matter what. The odds are correct, under 1,100. I would bet either a submission or a TKO by Bo Nickel if I had him on my parlay. Kind of hedge one out with one or the other. That fight's not going to the distance. He's finishing the fight for sure. I would pick submission first, because I do think he wants to make a statement and submit someone like Paul Craig. That'd be crazy. I know he wants to get the fight done as fast as possible too, which may be a knockout, right? Some may say that's faster than fighting for a submission. Because you can't knock somebody out in 5 seconds. You can't submit somebody in 5 seconds. Does that make sense? All right, next up, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler. Now, this fight right here is going to be a sleeper, but I know when I say that, you guys are like, there's no way this is a sleeper. Yes, I know, I get it. I think it's a sleeper because it's a rematch, so a lot of people really aren't super hype about this fight. The odds have it really close, which I honestly do too, a little bit in the favor of Charles. You just can't forget, Michael Chandler can knock anybody out in that opening round, right? Everybody he's fought, he's hurt in that first round, right? He hurt Charles in that first round when they fought really bad. He hurt Justin Gaethje really bad in their first round fight, in their first fight in the first round. So, that being said, don't sleep on Michael Chandler by TKO, because that's really the only way he wins this fight. I don't think he wins this fight by decision. I don't think he wins this fight by submission, obviously. I think Charles Oliveira is going to either get the submission or the knockout, right? I think it could go a lot like the Poirier fight, where it's a dog fight, and then Charles gets him to the ground, hurts him, and then chokes him out, right? I could see that happening, or gets him in some slick submission and a crazy scramble, right? So I do believe Charles wins this fight. He's on a win streak, I think. He won his last fight, I'm pretty sure. If he didn't, it was against Arman Sarukian, maybe, and it was, a close fight. But either way, both these guys, it's going to be a sick co-main event. I think Charles edges it out because Michael Chandler's been on the shelf. He hasn't fought in a while. This is a big spot to fill, co-main event, Madison Square Garden, That's a lot. But you can't count him out. He is a world champion in MMA. He has been in that position before, and I think it's also a late notice fight. And I think that should make Charles Oliveira's odds go up at least a little bit more to like 350. But yeah, I say Charles by submission or knockout as well. So we got two finishes over here on the left side, Bo Nickel and Charles Oliveira. Now going into the main event, this is where things get interesting, fellers. This is where things get interesting. Stipe Miocic, he hasn't fought in who knows how long, right? The last time he fought, we're getting a Stipe Miocic fight before we're getting GTA 6. That's crazy, right? Because he hasn't fought in a minute. Now, look at that. The last time he fought, it was for a belt. Now he's number 8 in the world, and he's fighting John Jones. That's how long he hasn't fought. Okay? That needs to be taken into consideration, because you're not just coming back, fighting Tom Aspinall, which would have been a crazy fucking fight for Stipe. You're coming back fighting the GOAT, okay, the greatest of all time. You're coming back and fighting Michael Jordan in a one-on-one pickup game, right? And this was Michael Jordan coming back after retirement, the first time. This is 96 Michael Jordan, 97 Michael Jordan, okay? So this is the key to victory for the main event, okay? And I'm only going to do this for the main event. Stipe needs to put volume on his boxing, keep his hips away from Jon Jones, and attack on breaks, and don't allow Jon Jones to get comfortable at distance, okay? Stipe is not going to do any of that because he's a big heavyweight. He's going to be bouncing a little bit, but as more of the fight goes on, Jon's going to have more of the bounce in his step. Okay, I do believe that. And so how you beat Jon Jones is you don't allow him to be comfortable at distance. Okay, all the great distance management fighters, the way you disrupt that is disrupt their distance management. You either get all the way in, you feint, you in and out, and then all the way in, but you never let them get comfortable. You never let them find their distance. They might find their distance with a couple strikes, but the moment they have, a certain amount of success, you got to do what Merab did to Sean O'Malley. You got to be in, out, in. That's just one way. And he, those are 35ers compared to heavyweights. That's why I want Miocic to pressure with boxing, because the last time we see Jon Jones in any trouble was with Dominic Reyes and the output that Dominic put on the hands, right? He didn't kick a whole lot. You don't want to kick a wrestler a whole lot, especially someone like Jon Jones. You don't want them to grab you. You want to punch. You want to put a lot of volume on, because Jones is going to defend. He has very well defense, okay? He's never been hit clean by a heavyweight in a real fight. I don't know about sparring, but in a real fight, he hasn't been hit clean by a heavyweight, okay? And Stipe, you can't sleep on him. He has a good right hand. He has good boxing. He just needs to put pressure on him. He needs to go forward, and anytime Jones wants to come in, he needs to get his hips out. He needs to make space, and then once that breaks, get right back in Jon's face, right? Don't allow Jon to be comfortable at distance. The only thing is you just got to be careful with elbows when you start playing close to Jon, okay? And now, everything I just said, you got to flip it on its head for Jon Jones. You got to control distance. You got to stomp his knee. You got to use your jab. You got to jab to the body. I think that's going to be a big key. Now he's at heavyweight and he's boxing, or he's fighting a boxer. Okay, you need to have a nice, good jab to the body to kind of gauge your distance, as well as your low kicks and your knee stomps, and also jabs to upstairs. Obviously, mix the jab up. Go up, go down, but never stay. Don't allow him to throw that right hand over that jab. Don't allow him to time the right hand as you jab low, right? You need to hit and get out, hit and get out. If he starts coming in heavy, clinch, elbows, right? Don't allow him to pressure you. You can't allow Stipe to pressure you like Dominic did. You need to circle off the cage, stay off the cage, control the middle, kick, a lot of teeps up the middle, everything up the middle with Stipe. He's going to be walking straight forward, right? He'll move his head every now and then, but you need to go up the middle and then get offline right away, right? With jabs, hooks. If he's ever southpaw, he needs to play with that lead hand, hook, and then get offline, low kick, right? He needs to do a lot of things. Because he's a big, strong guy. He's very durable, right? You can't fight him like DC fought him. DC just wanted to walk straight forward, right? And he's a lot shorter. And Stipe knows how to use that distance. He knows how to find the right hand. We'll see if he can find the right hand on somebody as long and as tall as Jon Jones. Now, Jon obviously mix up the wrestling. I believe Jon is going to go in there. He's going to show the world what he's doing with his hands a little bit. But the moment there's any kind of grappling, I think he's just going to straight dominate. Stipe is too slow to be on Jones's level with grappling. Jones is too much of a great grappler to have any shades of failure against Stipe in the grappling department. So I think he's going to dominate. I think he goes in there, uses his hands, uses his feet, takes Stipe down, and we can either see a submission, which I do believe, a guillotine, a rear naked choke maybe, or maybe we see just ground and pound, and then we just see Jones hurt him bad on the feet late in the fight, right? Yeah, that's my opinion. I think Jon Jones wins. I would also bet, I would just bet moneyline John Jones, TKO Charles Oliveira, and TKO Bo Nickel. That's what I would do. Yeah, it's going to be a sick fight. These two dudes are going to come to fight, and then John Jones is going to retire because he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. I'm just saying. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, that's the breakdown. That's my final thoughts. That's my picks for the 3 fights of the main card. Go in there, bet at your own risk. Don't tell me that I lost you a bet because you listen to me. You're an adult. Now, with that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll be dropping some more videos soon. See you guys.